is still a lie, where there aren't varying degrees of lies. If I told you, in that picture right there, there is one president, is that a lie or the truth?
It's the
truth.
truth.
It's a lie.
It's the truth.
Okay,
Because there's another.
who's this guy?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. Is he a president?
Dude, I'm sure there's
Did I lie?
No.
no.
But it's half true.
Do you guys know
Vladimir Putin.
who this guy is? Dressed as a tourist, 5 feet away from our president in 1988?
Vlad.
That is the current president of Russia, who is, by all accounts, you guys know those commercials that say the most interesting man in the world?
Yeah.
That's not a real person. Do you know who the real most interesting man in the world is? Vladimir Putin. Okay, why is he 5 feet away from Ronald Reagan in Moscow in 1988 dressed as a tourist?
I think it was time to
Kill him.
He wasn't president in 1988.
Is he gonna kill him? Try killing him?
He's an undercover spy in the KGB who's 5 feet away from our president, could kill him with his pinky if he wanted to.
I'm sorry. I was watching your video. You got really loud.
Just hit the mute button.
Well, I wouldn't listen.
Okay? Now, you tell me, did I lie?
No.
That's a half-truth. Is there one president in the picture?
But you knew.
I didn't lie.
Avery, could you
There's
please
one
quit arguing?
president in there, Avery.
There's a future president undercover as a spy. Here, in my book, that's a half-truth. I just left out the part about Romania getting a nuke.
There's a lie and the truth. There's no in between. It's black and white.
But you didn't lie.
No.
So did I just lie to you or did I tell the truth?
No,
Why?
tell the truth. He said there was a president in there, and there's a president.
I didn't tell you the whole truth, but I
But
didn't
you-
lie.
yeah.
Now, if you're confused and or suspicious, then good. Let's play a game. You have a sticky note. Did anyone not get a little tiny sticky note from me?
I'm still getting
You did not?
Did you really just call yourself that? You said Papa?
Yeah, I said Papa didn't.
You have my permission. I'm gonna turn away, and if I hear a loud sound, I'm gonna think you dropped the I didn't hear anything. Okay, does everyone have a sticky note now?
No.
You didn't get one?
I really have it. You call yourself Papa. He's like, I remember
Okay.
I'm gonna turn around. Mr. McElhey, I don't have a sticky note.
Are you lying?
No, I'm being honest. It's not even under my desk.
I would have probably put it next to your laptop. Okay, grab your sticky note, hold it so no one can see. Hold it so like no one can see, like I'm looking at mine, you can't see it. We're gonna play a game, it's called Make a Team. Simple game. You make a team of any group members in here, anybody in the classroom, and say, join my team. Whoever can form the biggest team without someone who has a red dot that I put on your sticky note with my pen wins. Now, if you have a red dot on your sticky note, do not show anyone. Only you and I know who you are. Your job is to get into the biggest team without them discovering that you had a red dot on your sticky note. If you don't have anything on your card, you want to make the biggest team you can without people with red dots, but there's one catch. Everybody take one last look and see, do I have a red dot or not?
I don't know if you would count this.
It is.
Oh, nice.
Well, you just answered that question.
Well,
for
it's
the
not
whole
a dot.
class.
You could have said a scribble,
Yeah,
and I would have caught
You
it.
know what?
Said a dot.
That reminds me.
They
just screwed up the whole game.
That's a lie. Two lies.
Good luck.
Start over.
You can go.
No.
I still don't know.
Listen.
Maybe you're a dog.
Let us clarify since you just blew your cover.
there. Oh, yeah.
If there is a mark from this red pen in some shape, circular or
You
otherwise,
can't say dot then.
we consider that to be a dot even if it is not literally a perfect dot because I'm a history teacher and not an art teacher.
Well, let's say scribble. I just need to be out of the game now.
Listen.
I'm just.
Just quit.
Everybody take your sticky note and crumple it up. Crumple it up.
No, I'm
Crumple it up.
Crumple it.
Pass it to the right.
If your birthday, listen, if your birthday throw yours away in this back garbage can. Go. If your birthday's in an odd numbered year, throw it in that garbage can.
Oh my God. He said it's 9 odd.
Everybody whose birthday was in an even numbered year, throw yours in this garbage can right here. Oh. It doesn't, that's my point, you'll understand later. Crumple it up, throw it away.
Oh, you missed it, then.
Did everyone throw theirs away?
It was a scribble on.
Now, listen, do we agree? The only definitive proof of your red dot or not has now been removed.
Unless your neighbors
Or you asked a question that clearly incriminated your red dot. No, you don't have to be sorry to me. You're going to be the one who sits in the corner for 4 minutes while the rest of us play the game because no one wants you on their team. All you have to do is make the biggest team you can without someone who's a red dot. The only definitive proof has now been disposed of. So you can ask them, tell them, test their loyalty any way you want, but you can't say, show me your card. And you can't say, go get it because I randomly picked where you threw it away and you didn't keep track of who went where. So there's no hope of like, dig yours up and show me, Alexis, because I think you had a red dot. Good luck finding it now. So you have 4 minutes. I have some music. Ask, tell. The only way that you will get information out of me, Mr. Jones, is if you bribe me. Not with money. I'm not motivated by money. But with food. I might be at liberty to discuss a few small details if you have something that catches my eye or rather my stomach. Otherwise, I'm not saying anything. Okay, stand up. You need nothing.
Can I just join somebody?
If you're good at reading body language or telling who's lying or telling you the truth, it will serve you well for the next 4 minutes. Make a team with no red dots. Red dotted people get into a team. No one can prove you have a red dot, right? You threw it away, except for Addie. But here's the thing. Maybe all of that was just a ruse to make you think she had a red dot and she really didn't. Okay? 4 minutes, go.
You guys.
Are you recording this? Of course I am.
I don't have a red dot.
That's not cool.
Do not.
Make the biggest team you can without a red dot being on your team.
Without a red dot?
Without a red dot being on your team.
Like that.
No red dots left.
Yes. I think she does. She's okay, you do. Yeah, we know she does. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. That didn't take very long.
Swear.
Do you know?
Adam had a red dot too.
Thank you for that.
Did you guys have to try next?
The most.
He has a red dot.
Are you a red dot?
Oh, he had a red dot.
Do you want to know? Do you want a good historical example
Rachel Forster.
from the great state of Idaho? Abraham Forster.
Abraham, I can tell when you're lying. Do you have a red dot?
Senator Larry Craig, have you heard of him?
Rachel, you got a ditcher.
From Idaho. While in the Senate, he voted against everything gay marriage, everything gay rights, and public speeches.
Oh my God, I have a team.
One day, in an airport bathroom, he was caught soliciting a random man for sex in a bathroom stall. And he was apparently doing this all the time. How do we know that he was secretly gay? Because in public, he's like, I'm anti-gay marriage. And then he does that on his own time. So that proves that people who walk around and
This is one. It is her, like, and her.
just like Larry
Not you. You can totally find it out. No, I'm really not. I was just funny. I I swear. No. Rachel? Yeah. No, I'm not lying. I'm being honest.
I watched him like scribble on your scribbling.
No, okay. Can he lie? He can't, obviously.
He can't give half a dollar. I watched
So, Avery. Okay, let's play the 20 questions. Ask me if my pen was touching your red dot when I gave it. And obviously not. Oh yeah. Did I purposely do that for the whole class? So that a few observant people would notice? No, I'm not.
Adam, do you have one?
It might have been close.
But he does have a job. I watched him scribble.
Oh, you don't? Like the Reagan picture, I am not lying when I say that.
Because you have a red dot.
Am I lying, Tyson? No. See?
I know. I can start laughing.
The truth is very in between.
Yeah, then she starts laughing.
Did you see it?
I know, that was funny.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, there are multiple red dots.
Then she like,
And if I were to be surprised,
I haven't even done anything.
stand up first of all. If your group doesn't want you, you can kick someone out. Raza, are you in a group? Who?
Now listen.
You want her in your group?
I do. I bet. No.
I'm not lying. Okay. Pause. If you would like to change groups or kick someone out of your group, this is your last opportunity. I remind you, if you're a non-red dot person, the way you win is make the biggest group you can without a red dot getting in your group. Even if there's only 2 of you, if neither of you are red dots, and someone in their group is, you beat them. Does that make sense? The biggest group you can.
Look, Rachel, if you guys let me in your group.
No, yeah.
No, I was interested. You're a red dot. I'm ready.
How does she know you're not the red dot?
With that group, I know Avery's a red dot. I know
If you were, if you
I'm better or something.
He does too.
The truth will come out.
Yeah, I
all
swear,
watched
I'm
him
not
be
lying.
right
I
on
swear.
Sticky.
Like, it's not even worse. I thought you. I know. I'm really. I'm not a
Bigger is an
student.
obvious manner, right, Tyson?
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
that.
Because I'm really not a red dot.
Okay.
The way he's like over.
You're by yourself. Are you with them?
No, I swear.
No, she has a red dot.
You kicked her out? But you guys are together? Are you a group of
I'm
3?
not. No.
Yes, no.
I don't.
I'm just asking.
You
You guys are a group of 3? Are you guys a group?
I'm by myself.
What? Is she a red
So
dot?
a group of 3 and a group of 4.
I feel like Jade.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Listen.
You're a red dot, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're a red dot.
I'm looking at
Okay.
Let's win this together.
Okay. Listen.
That kicked me out. Let's go over
Listen.
them.
If your sticky note had a red dot or other shape from my red pen's ink, raise your hand. Yes.
He swore on
Sometimes it's the sneaky, quiet ones that get the red dot.
No,
Okay. If your group had a red dot, you lose. You
I
guys,
didn't
I'm sorry.
red dot. I was
You
being
lose.
Rachel. I don't.
Was I being honest?
No.
Yes, I.
Wait, Alexis had one?
Did you, Jeremy? I knew, Jeremy.
He had the Bible.
Jeremy, you had one, right? Yeah, I knew it. No wonder you were in there. I swear. That's all you said. I swear. I
I
swear.
almost have
We
it.
should have had it written, I swear, on the Mormon Bible.
I said that. I said
that.
I had it.
In the bag.
Give her a good
I had a red dot too.
Give me a
In the
dead leg.
bag.
You guys, you got a group of 3.
I joined it.
I don't want You did leg.
But they weren't cheating.
Did anyone have a group bigger than 3 that did not have a red dot?
Adam, were you red dot?
We had 4. Yeah, what if we're just
Then
saying?
what was your
Who
job?
am
To
I?
get into a group.
Were you really?
What?
Were you really?
Ready?
You were red dot.
I swore he said if you have a red dot.
Get into a group without red dots and ruin it for them. Now, here's what you're wondering. Okay, first of all, if you're feeling like I cannot trust people and I feel like I'm being lied to, mission accomplished for me. Okay? Bo clearly asked me, and I'm telling you, I did not lie. He said, Mr. McKelkey, when you stood right here roughly 8 minutes ago, and Avery clearly asked, hey, I didn't get a sticky note, can I get one? I knew everyone would be watching me. And I obviously, with the cap on my pen,
I told you.
made a mark like this that was like way too obvious, and then gave it to her. Now she threw that away, but when you asked me that, and I said, Tyson, with my pen, I was pushing all over that sticky note in an obvious way. Listen.
So it was the truth that
So,
I knew the whole time.
You can say that's a lie. I say no, it's not. It's misleading, maybe, kind of like the whole Romania will nuke you, but we never said they wouldn't. We said we wouldn't. That was me.
Dude, that worked out perfect.
You have to have.
If we'd have had 2 more minutes, I could have bombed US and it would have been cooler.
That'd have been cool.
Then everyone would have died, like all the other times. My point is, there's got to be. Listen. There's got to be a gray area. I am not saying I told the whole truth, because honestly, he didn't ask the right question. Did you put a red mark on Avery's slip? I would have said no. He didn't ask me that. He said, was your pen touching it before you gave it to her? Yes, it was, but the cap was on. And I did it because I knew some of you observant people would be watching me standing in front, giving it to her because she got the last one. I didn't lie. Just like I never said there wasn't an undercover KGB spy 5 feet away from our president. I just said there's a president in the picture. That's not a lie. Now, what does any of this have to do with U.S. history and the Cold War?
You didn't know somebody was or wasn't a spy.
Okay, and not just spy.
I can't believe it.
What color was the dot, if you had one?
Red.
Was that premeditated on my part?
Scared.
Yes. Because the equivalent to today's society, not just in the United States, in Greece, in Germany, the equivalent in today's society is this. I love that you use that, but not now. Instead of looking for communists and saying, we don't trust you in our country, you're plotting to kill us, who do we say that about today? Especially in Greece and Germany and France and Great Britain and America. It's not communists that we don't trust to let into our country. Muslim immigrants. But here's the difference with the Cold War. How do you tell if someone's a communist by looking at them? Do you look like a communist? You're a brunette. You got a blue shirt on. You play soccer, which I call communist kickball, so you must be a communist. I really do call it that. At least, okay, and I do not mean this to condone irrational fear of immigrants. Can you look at a Muslim immigrant from Syria and for the most part tell you look like one? Now that's not a good way to go through life, but it's a lot better than saying, do you look like a communist or not? How do you tell? You can't by looking. And if you don't have that, I'm in the Communist Party card that you carry in your wallet, nobody can prove it. Okay, so here's what this week is about, Ms. Applin. The Cold War in the United States. Not in the Soviet Union or the Korean War, not the missiles back and forth. The fear, the Red Scare, the McCarthyism, and the spying. What would you say your trust level is at as a human being right now? Are you feeling especially trustworthy of people right now? Ladies, what are you doing?
I didn't feed a Cheeto. That's stolen Cheeto.
You know what?
A Tina.
The internet's not cooperating.
It's cool though. I just intercepted it.
So, guys, let me give you an example that will get your attention. Ladies, just Bear with them for 5 minutes. Not even.
Be better than some of our linebackers.
Would you guys like a modern day example of this?
Yeah.
Do you guys know who this is?
He's white. I want to know now.
Probably do.
If you can't see up in the URL, that's Anna Chapman, Raza.
Looks like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
She is a Russian supermodel. That is the cover of like the equivalent of Maxim magazine. Okay, guys, what does this have to do with the Russian spies and the Red Scare?
We don't care.
She was actually a spy
Where?
in Russia.
No, here.
America.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, that's
Do you know when we caught her? Because we think Cold War 1945 to 1991, right?
1993.
2010. And we didn't just catch her. We caught 9 other Russian spies in New York and New Jersey.
They all model?
Some of them, no, that's why I picked her. She's the only one.
Oh.
Some of them had been living here for 20 plus years.
What would they be?
And here's my favorite part given my audience today. She did not, but others did. Husband-wife couples who were spies, who to keep their cover, had American kids, who after you've been here for 15 or 20 years are exactly your age, born in America, American citizenship, go home every day, your mom cooks you dinner, your dad works at a job that a normal American would work at, and your parents are Russian spies and you have no idea.
Anybody in here?
Yes. Multiple families that we caught in 2010 had teenage kids. Okay? The ones in New Jersey, their kids came home from school, they got off the bus, they're walking with their backpack, and they see cop cars and FBI vans around their house. They're like, what the heck is going on? They walk up, and an FBI counter-espionage agent says, listen, this isn't going to make sense, but your parents are Russian spies, and they've been living in the United States for 20 plus years. We know you didn't know, but you're going to have to go back to Russia with them and leave your school and leave your family. Your neighbors didn't know, your kids didn't know. That's a crazy thought. Because you go, wow, if I couldn't trust her, who could I trust? If that guy's a spy, my own parents are a spy and I didn't know it, your trust level would be pretty low. And in the Cold War, especially when it came to Russians, we did not trust them. Okay? So here's what we're going to do today. You can look her up later. Her name's Anna Chapman. She's a Russian supermodel now. First job, though, undercover spy in the United States.
Wait, how old is she now? She was here for what, 20 plus
I think she's like in her 40s, maybe. Like, there's a selfie she took in New York City when she was still undercover. There are other guys. Everybody asked, how do we catch him? This guy's name was Jack Barsky. That wasn't his name, though. That was a dead Canadian's name. He stole his identity, forged some paperwork, and moved to the United States from East Germany, a Warsaw Pact country, in 1978 with a dead Canadian guy's passport and paperwork, and spied in the United States for 20 plus years. His real name was Albrecht Dietrich. Sounds suspicious. So he took a dead Canadian guy's ID and paperwork. Okay? Now this happened all the time during the Cold War. There are lots of TV shows and movies about this, but we're going to read about the real thing. And if you didn't look at the calendar this week, today is going to be about the Venona project. Tomorrow, you're going to get one Russian spy that we caught with the Venona project. And on Thursday, we're going to put the 2 most infamous Russian spies from the 1950s on trial. Did anyone think, how did the Soviets get nuclear weapons so fast after we did? They totally stole our ideas. Remember the Manhattan Project? Under a Chicago high school football field, and in the desert of New Mexico, we built these bombs, tested one, dropped 2 in Japan. Multiple Soviet agents infiltrated the Manhattan Project and stole secrets, sent them back to Moscow, and then they started building their own bombs. The 2 most famous ones are the Rosenbergs, plural, a husband-wife duo who we tried for espionage and treason convicted them of selling atomic secrets to the Soviets, and we hung them both and killed them. So, do you know what level of involvement the wife had?
She married.
I'm just asking. So, the wife of a murderer should get killed just because she married a murderer?
Well, I mean,
No,
you
that's
don't know what
different.
she knows.
How is that any different?
But did
Because
she
he
know
was
he
probably
was
trying-
working?
That's a good
Greenland.
question. That's what you should ask before you say string her up too.
Well, okay, did that lady know
Send her to Greenland.
that he was?
Come to class. Come to class on Thursday and you'll find out.
Why do we ask them like that?
So, here's what we're gonna do. If you guys go to the modules in Canvas,
Now would.
there should be one thing that pops up at the bottom of the Cold War.
Yeah.
It says Introduction to the Venona Project.
My computer is completely frozen.
Okay. We've had a ton of tech issues today. You can just do this on your phone with your group. Don't worry, it's not working.
Oh, really?
Just put stay signed in.
Did you see it?
If you don't have a laptop that's not working, you can do this with your group and or on your phone.
It's because I've already checked it before, so it popped up again. Why did it
So,
pop up?
why don't you just go check it
Kyle,
again?
you are something else.
We're gonna agree to disagree, gentlemen.
Ooh, I don't like doing
I'm gonna
that.
prove him wrong really quick.
Listen, at the 2-minute warning, how about that?
I'm getting on the canvas though.
But your argument settled the 2-minute warning. Okay, we're gonna go to that introduction to the Venona Project. Has anybody heard of the Venona Project?
Yep. Twice.
I'm not surprised. Here is how highly classified the Venona Project was. Who inherited the presidency after FDR died and decided to drop the bombs on Japan? Harry S. Truman. He was president when this program started. He didn't know about it.
No.
So there's highly classified, and then there's so highly classified our own president doesn't know. That's the Venona Project. How do we know about this today? The CIA declassified it in 1995. I didn't ever learn about this because my teachers never knew about it. Okay, here's the front page of a book or a report about it. Okay? We have to use certain lingo. When we're delving into the spy world, you gotta use their terminology, right?
Are you gonna wear aviators again?
Probably not, but I could. I got them in my desk.
I would.
Everybody look back here. Okay, here's the first question. What is this Venona Project? Counter-espionage. So if you don't watch spy movies and aspire to be a CIA agent, that's okay. There's lots of different jobs. Here's one of the biggest ones. If you guys can become fluent in a language besides English or Spanish, you are highly sought after by our intelligence agencies and our government agencies like the Foreign Service and the State Department and the CIA. Especially languages like Russian, Chinese, Farsi, things like that.
What was that for again?
Farsi.
Where's that?
The white person went to China.
Retarded.
I'm telling you, learn other languages and you'll get good jobs.
I mean, I know that someone like hamburgers.
Like, how do they know, someone who's working for,
I'm not gonna say
Oh, I got it.
that they're not a spy, like, what he's doing?
That's, now you're thinking. Just tell me if it's...
Oh, Mr. Mcduffie's room.
Huh?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, are you just right next door though? Okay. Okay, here he is.
Is that Miss Hughes?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I don't understand.
Hey, Mrs. Hughes. It's okay. I haven't checked my email because my prep's not for another 15 minutes, so...
Is phone call gonna be on in here now? Probably.
Okay.
I guess so.
Oh.
You just type on it, she'll see it.
Stay signed in.
Oh.
Why not?
Because I
Yeah,
wasn't
type
signing.
on it because then she'll see
I don't, I literally just had
it.
to.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's
Click the.
Or what?
Did she call you
Or I'll kill you.
No.
I'll just speed this process. Good call, man.
Okay. Back to where we were before that. So, Mr. McGinnis.
She's gonna die anyway.
That's okay. One of the jobs in intelligence agencies, everybody thinks, so send me to Russia and I spy on them. That's what spies do. Of course, some do, but a lot don't. To me, the highest level of spying is counter-espionage. That's what the Venona project is about. Does anyone know what that means? If you worked for the CIA and someone who you could actually talk to about your job said, what do you do? And you said, I'm in counter-espionage. What does that mean you do on a daily basis in plain English that we understand?
You find other spies.
Bam. I'm a spy. I spy on spies. Like what? So think of it this way. Who found Anna Chapman, that Russian supermodel in New Jersey?
A spy.
Yeah, the FBI counter-espionage guys. So you look for other countries' spies that are already in your country. So think about in the context of the red dot game. If you were in counter-espionage, it means I find who the red dots are in my group already. Or communists, or Russian spies, or whomever you're looking for.
Do you have to just like blurt it out and say it to like everybody?
Who's a Russian spy? No, you.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
What?
She said, how do you find out who has a red dot?
Yeah. Like,
Well, I can tell you asking them is not a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a number.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tyson 5. Caleb, you're 6.
I don't.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. Everybody find your partners. I think there should be 3 of you except your group. Find a spot anywhere you want to go with your laptop. Go.
6.
Yes, you need your laptop.
I gotta roll my chair over. Okay.
Is there just 2 of them? Are you
You too?
Oh,
I'm a 5.
one of these ladies
We're
is a
4.
3. Tara, what are you?
We're 6.
Here's you gotta be good.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no desks over there, I'll just take it.
Who are you?
1.
I'm number 1.
Chugga, chugga, choo choo.
Maybe we should go on.
I just keep going on. You're not going to be able to.
Okay, Tara, here's how this is going to go down. One of your group members make a copy of the Google Doc at the top.
Now you're not yet.
Give your group members access to edit. Pick who that's going to be. The rest of you just open it when it comes into your inbox.
Sorry. Probably never.
What's up,
In retrospect, if our Easter candy hyperactivity levels continue tomorrow, we're just going to start, instead of the red dot game, we'll just go for like a run. Do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, do some cardio, and then we'll sit down and do US history.
Sounds like last week.
Yeah.
Have you not been here all period?
Maybe.
You haven't been paying attention, that's why you haven't noticed. So,
Wait, when was Easter?
last Sunday,
Yeah.
but the candy stash lasts for a long time, it's like Halloween.
I actually didn't get any candy this year.
Good.
Wait, how?
There comes a year that you stop getting Easter candy.
Yeah, that year was this year.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't get any.
I really appreciate it. I can't make it.
Oh, really?
Because you are not signed in, man.
Actually, if the person wasn't on there,
What did we go to?
Always
That copy that he sent you.
Yeah,
So
so
I
I
just-
like nothing on here.
So all I need is that copy. Well, somebody had to make the copy, but we were all there to make it if you were following along. If being the important word in that phrase. Now, here's how this works. When you get that document from whoever shared it, scroll to the very bottom. You will see a series of 7 questions. If you don't have your laptop or phone, just look off your neighbor. 7 questions. These show up in the order of the reading. In other words, the first answer you'll find is number 1. The second answer you're going to find is number 2. They're not mixed up. They're not tricky. Okay, let's talk about number 2. So you have some background, some frame to build around this Venona project. During World War II, are we nominally, in name, allied with the Soviets? Do we fight together with the Soviets in World War II?
Yeah.
Yes. The better question is, why were we nominally, in name, their friends?
Didn't like Germany.
Mutual enemy. Is that the best, deepest kind of friendship?
No.
Alexis, I don't like you, but we both hate Max, so let's beat him up. Now, even if we do beat him up, what happens to our friendship once our mutual enemy is dead?
Away.
I
Unless
hate
you
you,
guys
man.
have that one moment where you're looking at each other after you guys are done.
That's not how that goes.
Something awful.
Before World War II ended, we knew we do not trust the Soviets. We are allies out of necessity, because to stop Nazi Germany we need their help. But the day the war is over, even generals in our own army, General George S. Patton Jr. said, "Give me some tanks and let me keep going east and we'll kill the Russians next." Winston Churchill said, "Hey America, you got any of them atomic bombs left for Moscow? Because we should just kill them and get it over with." We didn't.
We could have avoided the whole Cold War.
By killing millions of innocent civilians. And then who would be the real bad guys?
Well,
There wouldn't be
Yeah,
any
but they'd be
good
on-
They'd be dead. And
Yeah, so they wouldn't care if we were the bad guys or not.
Yeah, so we'd be the only guys left, so they wouldn't be good or bad guys,
Yeah.
we'd be guys.
We're the only ones left.
Listen, there are only 2 explanations for this kind of thinking. This one being the most likely.
here we go.
You just know this talk really distresses me because it is an indictment of my teaching ability. Or number 2, you're complete idiots. I'm leaning towards number 1, but the door for number 2 is widening. It's getting wider.
I'll be honest with you, I think it's a little bit both.
Because there's good points.
Yeah.
You're just trying to make me feel bad about myself. And
No,
I'm
I
not
don't.
going to let you how you.
Well, no, the challenge is out there.
Brother, you always-
Now, because we didn't trust the Soviets, we knew, do you think the Soviets are sending spies into America even while World War II is still going on? Do you guys know Joseph Stalin? Do you know Adam and Bo from last week of class?
Oh
Their
yeah.
personalities? Do you trust them even while you're on the same team?
Yeah.
I was. How'd that end for Hungary?
That would be a
Mushroom cloud. That's how it ended for me.
Well, I wouldn't have, but America didn't save you, so.
America, you got
That was
lucky.
actually your
You got lucky.
Did he actually need help?
You're
Yeah,
lucky
he
there
needed
was
help.
2 minutes left,
And
right?
Avery said no.
No, I said yes, and
No,
you.
you said no.
And he told a half-truth. And he certainly
No, it was
There's
the
no
whole
such
truth.
thing as half.
How did I lie? I said I
Avery,
will not
you
eat.
literally skipped a
Then
step.
who
You had to go over
Did
like
you get
every
Luke?
detail. You never said that anybody
about
else in the
to.
Soviet Union
Yeah.
could bomb Hungary except for
No.
I know, I definitely didn't ask.
That was your fault.
But to the contrary, when they're the only ones with nukes, it's not like you should have been suspicious of someone else. You just didn't think, what if they gave them to Kyle Walton,
I used
genocide maniac? Because he'd be happy to get the red
I
line.
should have killed Big Kyle.
You didn't even blink.
Now,
Good call, Kyle.
because we don't trust them, those personality types, we start something called the Venona Project. Very simply, here's all it is. Counter-espionage program. It's a dragnet. It's like to catch bad guys. Only we're not looking for murderers or drug dealers or anything like that. We are looking for Soviet spies in the residentura. You guys know what that word means in Russian? You can guess.
What?
The residence. That means the kind of spies that have been living in America, working a normal job at the lumber mill or baking cookies at the corner bakery for 20 years. But they're Soviet spies. Not the ones who come in your country, take some pictures, and go home. We're looking for like the deep undercover spies. That's what the Venona Project is for. Okay, so look at question number 2. What does it ask you? Did I just give you the start of a really good answer? A counter-espionage program whose purpose is to catch Soviet spies in America during the Cold War. That's what it is. If you can't spell counter-espionage, it's on the board above Caitlin's head.
Program.
Want to see if it's a new trick I
Whose purpose
read
is
over spring break?
what?
I don't think we did.
1 second.
Really?
Roger, you shut off.
Just have to allow this one.
Thanks for giving an answer.
I appreciate
It said, oh, this was answer number one.
Yeah.
Designed to catch Soviet spies in the United
I don't think
States during the Cold War.
anybody answered one.
That was the perfect.
Did anybody
What
answer number
did you
one?
put there?
Drop the mic. Walk away.
That got a lot of people fired.
What?
What did you answer it as?
I haven't answered it yet. But you.
You don't have to, because my voice already did for you. Right?
People from fighting after you send that.
What?
And people that understand.
Okay.
They got fired.
A counter-espionage program whose purpose is to catch Soviet spies living in the United States during the Cold War. Now, pro tip for you, everybody who's on Google Docs, go to Tools, the top menu, go to Tools. Do you guys ever see voice typing? Google just turned this on last week.
Really?
I know that you don't walk in here and go, I can spell counter-espionage and residentura. You don't have to if you can say it now in Google Docs. You just have to enable that, so click it. And you'll get this little button that pops up on the left. Click it. And authorize your microphone, if you haven't already. Even while your teacher's lecturing boring crap that you don't want to take notes on, it'll type it for you.
Stop that.
I'm bringing-
Don't delete it.
Why is it
Even though
shutting
your
down?
teacher's life-threatening crap.
That wasn't me saying stuff.
He was like yelling at my computer, so I picked it up.
What's gonna do?
Okay.
Oh, I see.
I wanted to say super.
Stop. Who is messing up?
Me.
Why? While your teacher
Sorry.
was.
I bet it doesn't matter.
Wait, how do you do it?
No, I said tools. They go to somewhere, you go to tools.
And the cool thing is the button's there all the time.
No, it's like speak.
Super.
There, how do you? You don't go to the screen.
No way.
Ours said even though your teacher.
Wow.
Now,
It got loud.
what is the real longest word in the English language? That's not a medical term. That's not a medical term, I clearly specified. Stop, Rosalind. Do you guys know the longest word in the English language? That's not a medical term or made up in a book. It's a government term. Ready for this?
Nobody knows it then.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
What the heck?
That is the longest word.
Is longer.
That's not a real word.
That is a real word. You can say that.
So, here's my point. You just spelled the longest word in the English language without touching your keyboard. Thank you, Google Voice. Thank you.
You could have said that.
Now.
It's pretty easy.
But I mean, when everybody else starts talking, you come and do it.
I know, it's not good for in class unless it's your teacher giving a lecture, then it's awesome. Okay, go to question 3.
No, okay.
Max, what's question 3? Ask us. Okay, here's what you gotta ask. Counter-espionage. Spy on their spies. How do you find out who Soviet spies are living in the U.S.? You gotta capture their messages, or when the Soviets are talking about our source in Washington, D.C., you have to decode their message. Now, the Soviets were smart. They used a cipher that is unbreakable, if you use it the right way. Okay? You give someone a key to decipher the code, and you only use it once. Those one-time ciphers can never be broken. Ask Nazi Germany. They had one called the Enigma machine. Every time they sent you a message, you had a new cipher to read it. Kind of like burn after reading. That cipher's no good. But some of the Soviets got lazy or confused, and they used the same cipher twice. Can you break parts of their code now? Here's one of the main limitations. We could only read their messages when they messed up. If they didn't follow protocol and change the code, they reused the same code twice, we could get bits and pieces. But it's like a conversation that goes on for an hour. You get to stick your ear to the door for 30 seconds. You might hear them talk about, let's go take a bathroom break. That's the only part I heard. Well, that didn't help. Or you might heard, we have a source in the State Department who's going to leave a dead drop in the park under the bench next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. That 30-second snippet is helpful. So number 3 is we only get bits and pieces of Soviet messages. Because if they follow protocol, they use their code the right way, we couldn't break it. But sometimes they got lazy, or people didn't know how to use the cipher right, and we could get bits and pieces. So what kind of people do you think work in this Venona project if most of what they're doing is listening to Soviet messages and trying to break them? Like in the job description, what would they call them? I heard somebody say it. What's the term for that? I'll give you a hint. The most important people in this department were all women.
Sit there and just listen.
Cryptographers.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna get that.
Cryptographers. Okay, because everyone thinks spies, it's like some guy in a suit who's walking around looking for people. It was people in a room looking at codes trying to break them. Like the British did to tell us the Zimmerman telegram, cryptography, encoding and decoding messages. That's most of what it was. Now here's the problem with it. If you catch a spy with a top secret illegal surveillance program and you charge them with the crime, you got to go to court. Whenever someone's accused of a crime, does the state have to say, here's our evidence and how we know you did it?
Yeah.
What if you got that evidence illegally? Can't use it against them. What if your evidence is the fruits of an ultra top secret program like Venona that even the president didn't know about? Because if you walk in the courtroom and say, we got cryptographers breaking codes around the clock, it's called the Venona Project, nobody knows about it. In a public courtroom. What just happened to your top secret programs?
Top secret.
The Soviets know, all the spies in America know, your government knows, everybody in America knows. It's no good anymore. Right? So here's one of the limitations of the Venona Project. You can find the spies, but you can't use the Venona Project evidence against them in court.
You just wait till you find like a lot of them.
So would you like a good example, teenagers, that you could relate to? A cop kicks down your door at home. Okay, no warrant, no probable cause. Just comes in, kicks down your door, and there's a bundle of illegal weapons and cocaine. Can they use that against you in court?
No.
But are they going to watch you like a hawk from now on?
Oh, yeah.
That's how the Venona Project works.
They just don't want to sit down.